gotta be against the law to look this damn good.
Hi, I'm Eric Bandholz, founder of Beardbrand.
I'm Lindsey McKeeman, co-founder of Beardbrand.
So for me, like, the journey of Beardbrand starts in college when I was talking to counselors, and they always told me if I wanted to interview, I had to shave my beard. I had to look this certain way, I had to act this certain way, I had to behave this certain way. In 2019, there's really this dichotomy of masculinity. On one end, you have kind of the term toxic masculinity, and on the other end, there's this blowback that's, hyper masculinity, and it's like, you gotta be a real man, you gotta hammer and gun and shoot and lift weights, and I just felt like this isn't reality, and we wanted to focus on the individual. Going back now 7-8 years, just the idea that you would put a product into your beard and that people would spend money to put products into your beard was just completely foreign to most people.
I think people thought Beardbrand was an interesting, kitschy hobby for a while. Honestly, I was probably my biggest critic when it came time to actually quit my day job and let Beardbrand employ me. This was all of my eggs in one basket. It came down to whether I believed enough in myself to make it work.
So one of the low points for me was March 2013. And we had pretty much been getting sales in every single day. But in March, I remember we had a period of, it seemed to go on forever. It was 6 days where absolutely no sales came in, and it was just kind of completely freaking out and is this over? How do I do it? And just thinking that the business wasn't really going to go anywhere.
So in the early days, we didn't have any concept of seasonality because we were it was all exponential growth. We started at 0, so it was all upside. So when we had our first taste of seasonality, we were having our strategy meeting in Australia. That was the beginning of our first realization that we were going to have a dip every year in the spring and summer for revenue. There was a moment of we could potentially have way more than we need of all of the products that we sell. We could potentially have spent all the money that we have on the products that we don't need because we're not selling as many as we thought we would. And we are halfway across the world spending $50 on scones and tea. And I just felt really dumb at that moment. I felt really dumb. The weight of realizing that as an entrepreneur, your success and failure starts and ends with you is a very difficult thing to grapple with. As an employee, I always had a scapegoat. As an entrepreneur, all of the jobs are yours to do, it's really hard to meet your own standard.
As an entrepreneur, you have two options. You can either figure out why you're not getting the sales and go out and do things, or you can just give up, right? You just say, I tried my best and this is what happened. But for me, I had so much passion for what we were doing that it was fun for me. It was fun to solve this problem. So welcome to the downstairs area of the Beardbrand office. What we really wanted when we picked this spot to work is a coffee shop vibe downstairs, and then upstairs the open office environment. And we've been in this area for probably about 2.5 years, something like that. So our upstairs is an open office environment. The great thing about being up here is I've got the loudest voice, so no matter what, everyone's going to hear me, whether they like it or not. Oh my God, I bet you my desk, does it just look terrible? I'm not the cleanest, most organized guy, so for all those other people out there who aren't clean and organized, this is real life, and you get what you get. Haters can hate. So in today's world, the barriers to entry for any kind of business are probably lower than they've ever been. I think that's great. That's probably one of the reasons that Beardbrand exists, is because those barriers were so low. The downside is competition also sucks. So our core values, freedom, recognize that our customers are free to buy from anyone. That's what we believe in. And because we believe in that, it forces us as individuals and as leaders of our company to make the best experience possible, to always be improving, to always focus on our customers and how we can bring them value.
2019 was very much a what are we not doing that we should be doing, and what are we doing that's dumb? And we're seeing already the benefits of that, but I think 2020 is really going to be a big year because we've shored up our foundation and we're coming at it from a better place. I would define it as having a group of people who have grown through the process of being part of the Beardbrand community and working at Beardbrand.
Beardbrand is not a men's grooming company. It is a company that is on a mission to make men awesome. It's a company that's focused beyond the beard. It's always been about the man looking at himself in the mirror and loving the person who's looking back at him since day one. That's always been the mission, is really to help support our audience of urban beardsmen and support our audience of customers become really the best version of themselves, to keep on growing, which is our tagline, and to break down any kind of pressures that they have. Like, they could be internal pressures, like insecurity pressures, or they could be pressures from a boss or a partner or a spouse, how they might be able to attack those pressures and to feel confident about their solutions.
That's the touchy-feely version, but I would also like to be at $100 million in revenue by 10 years from now.
Yeah, we'd like to make a huge impact on the world.